Chosen one, center your spirit right now. Do not let your mind wander, because in the invisible realm, a rare silence has just fallen. The angels are not singing right now, they are watching in shock. Why are they silent? Because God has just issued an emergency override on your timeline. He had to stop everything. The struggles, the delays, and even the natural consequences of your past to hand you a victory you did not earn. This is what theologians call scandalous grace. It defies logic, it breaks the rules of fairness, and it is happening because if God let the normal process continue, you would miss your destiny. You are not stuck, chosen one. You are being extracted from the line of waiting and placed into the line of manifestation. Now listen to me. You did not click on this video by accident. You are not hearing my voice because of a YouTube algorithm or a random suggestion. God woke you up with a heaviness on your heart for a reason. Or perhaps He kept you awake late into the night, staring at the ceiling, wondering when things would finally shift. He redirected your thumb to this specific message because the decree I am holding in the Spirit is addressed to you. This is a divine appointment. The atmosphere around you is shifting as we speak. If you feel that tug in your spirit, that sudden awareness that this is not just a video but a portal, I want you to signal your alignment right now. Subscribe to the channel, not for numbers, but to lock in your position in this collective of awakened souls. Like this video to tell the spiritual realm, I am listening, I am present, and I am ready to receive. And I need you to stay with me until the very last second of this transmission, because at the end of this video, I am going to release a sealing prayer that activates this override. I am going to give you the protocol of silence that protects your blessing, and I will reveal the 7 forms of attack the enemy will use to try and stop it. If you leave before the seal is set, you risk leaving the door open for the enemy to steal what God is releasing. Do not let that happen. Commit to your breakthrough right now. Now, let us look at where you are. God showed me your spirit, and I saw a specific condition. I call it motionless spinning. You feel like a high-performance engine that is being revved to the red line, but the car is in neutral. There is so much noise inside of you, so much activity. You are praying, you are working, you are believing, you are doing everything right. But when you look at your external reality, nothing is moving. I see you sitting in your car. You have arrived at your destination. Maybe it is your home, maybe it is work. You turned the engine off 5 minutes ago, but you haven't opened the door. You are just sitting there, gripping the steering wheel, staring through the windshield at nothing. The silence in the car is deafening, but the noise in your head is screaming. You are asking yourself, did I miss God? Is He punishing me? I see you picking up your phone to make a call because you are in a crisis. You scroll through your contacts. 500 names. You scroll up. You scroll down. And then you realize, with a sinking feeling in your stomach, there is not a single person on that list who will truly understand what you are carrying. You hover your thumb over a name, then you pull it back. You turn the screen off and throw the phone on the passenger seat. That isolation you feel, that pressure in your chest that feels like a physical weight, making it hard to take a deep breath. It is not depression, it is not anxiety, it is the friction of the stop. You have been running so hard, trying to force doors open, trying to make things happen in your own strength because you thought you had to. You thought if you stopped moving, you would die, so you kept spinning. But notice something. Lately, every door you try to push feels like it is locked from the other side. Opportunities that should have been yours were given to people less qualified than you. Relationships that you poured your heart into suddenly turned cold. Money that was supposed to come in got delayed. And deep down, there is a voice you are afraid to whisper out loud. It says, "God, are you blocking me?" You look at others and you see them moving forward. They are getting the promotions, they are getting the relationships, they are getting the breakthroughs, and they are not even praying like you do. They are not sacrificing like you do. And a dark thought creeps in. You wonder if maybe you have been forgotten. You wonder if maybe the system is broken for you. Chosen one, I need you to hear me clearly. That blockage, that silence, that sudden jarring halt that has thrown your life into chaos. You think it is a punishment. You think it is a delay. You think it is the enemy trying to destroy you. But I am here to tell you that you are completely wrong. This is not a delay, and this is definitely not a punishment. What is happening to you right now is something far more terrifying and far more glorious. You have convinced yourself that you are in a season of divine delay. You have told yourself, God is teaching me patience. God is building my character in the wilderness. You have quoted the verses about waiting on the Lord. You have tried to find comfort in the idea that good things take time. And yes, God does use delays. He does use the wilderness to refine his children. That is a valid spiritual principle. But chosen one, hear me clearly. That is not what is happening to you right now. This is not a delay. This is a rescue. If God had allowed you to keep moving forward on that path, you would have arrived at a destination that was too small for your spirit. You were winning at a game God never wanted you to play. You were succeeding in a room that was about to collapse. So he didn't just slow you down. He didn't just put a speed bump in your way. He pulled the plug. He initiated a divine override. A delay means you are still on the same road, just moving slower. An override means God has destroyed the road entirely because he is airlifting you to the mountaintop. You need to understand that what feels like rejection right now is actually the highest form of protection. God saw that if you got that job, if you married that person, if you signed that contract, it would have locked you into a timeline of mediocrity that would have taken you 40 years to break out of. So he risked hurting your feelings to save your destiny. He stopped the machine. And I am not just telling you this to make you feel better. This is written in the very DNA of Scripture, but most people miss the depth of it because they are reading the surface. You remember the story of Joshua. You remember the day the sun stood still. In Joshua chapter 10, the Israelites are in the middle of a battle. The sun is going down. If night falls, the enemy will escape into the darkness and regroup. Joshua needs more time. He needs the laws of physics to stop. So he speaks to the sun. And the Bible says, the sun stood still. But here is what the English translation hides from you. The Hebrew word used for stand still in that verse is daman. Daman does not just mean to stop moving. It translates to be silent, be dumbstruck, hold your peace. When Joshua spoke, he didn't just put a hand on the sun. He commanded the celestial body to go silent, to stop its singing, to cease its function. The entire universe held its breath. It went into a state of suspended animation. Why? Because a man of God was realigning the victory. That is your life right now. That silence you feel, that eerie stillness where nothing is moving and no new news is coming, that is Daman. The angels, the demons, and the circumstances of your life have been commanded to be silent. The sun has stopped going down on your day. The moon has stopped rising. The natural cycles of cause and effect have been frozen. You are standing in the middle of a miracle, but it feels like a pause because you are used to the noise of the grind. You are used to the sound of your own effort. And now that the effort has stopped working, you think you have failed. No, you are in the demand. You are in the silence before the override. So what exactly is this override? We need to define this so your spirit can grab hold of it. The world operates on the law of process, the law of sowing and reaping. You go to school, you get a degree, you work hard, you get promoted, you plant a seed, you water it, you wait seasons, and eventually you harvest. That is the protocol of Earth. That is how humans operate. But a divine override breaks that protocol. An override is when God looks at your timeline and says, "There is no time left for the process. The mission is too urgent for the stairs." It is when He bypasses the steps of qualification. It is when He cancels the requirement of time. It is when He takes you from the prison to the palace in 24 hours, skipping the years of middle management that everyone else has to go through. This is why the angels are in shock, because they know the rules. They know that to get to level 10, you are supposed to beat levels 1 through 9, but God is picking you up at level 2 and dropping you at level 10. It is unfair. It is scandalous. It violates human logic. It means you are going to get a harvest you did not plant. It means doors are going to open for you that you do not have the key for. It means your restoration will not be gradual. It will be sudden, violent, and complete. But this brings up a terrifying question. A question that I know is gnawing at the back of your mind right now, fighting against everything I just said. You are thinking, that sounds amazing, but what if I am wrong? What if this isn't an override? What if God really has just rejected me? What if I am just a failure making up spiritual excuses to feel better about a closed door? How do you distinguish between a door closed by God's hand to upgrade you and a door closed because you failed the test? How do you know if you are in the demand or if you are just in the dark? There are 3 specific signs, 3 unmistakable markers that only appear when an override is in progress. These are not vague feelings. These are concrete evidences. And if you have seen sign number 2 recently, you need to prepare yourself, because it means the shift is already happening. The first sign that you are experiencing a divine override and not a rejection is what I call illogical blockage. I want you to think about the last door that closed in your face. Go back to that moment. You were qualified for it. In fact, you were overqualified. You did the work. You prayed the prayers. You had the peace of God before you walked into the situation. Everything lined up perfectly. The interview went well, or the relationship felt ordained, or the opportunity seemed like it was tailor-made for your skill set. Logic dictated that this was your next step. But then, out of nowhere, it collapsed. And the rejection didn't make sense. The reason they gave you was flimsy. Maybe they said you were not a good fit, even though you wrote the playbook. Maybe they ghosted you completely. Or maybe the deal fell apart at the signing table due to a technicality that never should have mattered. When a door closes because you failed, that is discipline. But when a door closes when you did everything right, that is an override. God blocked that door because it led to a stairwell, and He is trying to put you on the elevator. If you had walked through that door, you would have been successful, yes, but you would have been successful in a room that was too small for your assignment. You would have settled for a salary that would have capped your potential, or a relationship that would have tolerated you instead of celebrating you. God looked at that opportunity and said, "This is good, but it is not the override," and he slammed it shut to force you to wait for the impossible. The second sign is even more painful. It is supernatural isolation. If you look at your life over the last few months, you will notice a strange phenomenon. People are exiting your life, and not just enemies. I am talking about friends. I am talking about allies. I am talking about people you thought would be with you forever. It feels like a sudden clearing of the deck. You might be sitting there right now, scrolling through your phone, looking at names of people you used to talk to every day, and realizing the phone hasn't rung in weeks. You feel a deep ache in your chest, a feeling of abandonment. You wonder, what is wrong with me? Why can't I keep people? Chosen one, listen to me. This is not rejection. This is clearance. When a rocket is about to launch, there is a protocol called clearing the pad. Every technician, every support vehicle, every person who helped build the rocket has to move back to a safe distance. Not because they are bad people, not because they are not important, but because where the rocket is going, they cannot go. And the energy that is about to be released under that rocket would destroy them if they stood too close. God is removing people from your life right now because they are not equipped for the altitude of the override. Some of them would have become jealous of the sudden favor. Some of them would have tried to give you logical advice when God is doing something illogical. Some of them would have become anchors when you need to be a sail. So God created a conflict or a misunderstanding or just a drifting apart to move them to the spectator seats. He is isolating you so he can influence you without interference. This loneliness is not a void, it is a VIP room. And the third sign. This is the one that keeps you up at night. It is called holy restlessness. I am speaking to the person who wakes up at 3 a.m. for no reason. Your body is tired, but your spirit is pacing the floor. You feel an agitation in your soul, a frustration with your current level that borders on anger. Things that used to satisfy you now taste like ash in your mouth. You go to your job, and you feel like you are wearing a suit that is 3 sizes too small. You try to watch TV, and you feel like you are wasting precious time. You feel like something is about to happen, but you cannot see it. This is not anxiety. Do not let the doctor diagnose this as anxiety. This is the spiritual engine revving before the brake is released. Your spirit lives in the future, and it knows the override is coming before your mind does. Your spirit is sensing the shift in atmospheric pressure. It is like a woman in labor. The contractions are painful, yes, but they are proof that something new is pushing its way into the world. That restlessness is your internal alarm clock ringing because the time of the override is here. If you have seen these 3 signs, the illogical blockage, the supernatural isolation, and the holy restlessness, then you are not crazy. You are under the protocol. But I know what the enemy whispers to you. He says, that is just theory. That is just words to make you feel better about being a loser. So let me tell you a story. A true story about a chosen one who watched this very channel, applied this truth, and saw the override manifest in real time. About 8 months ago, there was a man, let's call him David. David was a faithful employee. He was the first one in the office and the last one to leave. He fixed problems he didn't create. He was loyal to a company that didn't deserve him. He was praying for a promotion because he needed to pay off his debts. He did everything right. And then, on a Tuesday morning, God stopped everything. David was called into a meeting and told his position was being eliminated. No warning, no reason. Just pack your things and go. Imagine the scene. He is standing in the parking lot, holding a cardboard box with his coffee mug and a few photos. The sun is shining, but his world has gone black. He feels the panic rising in his throat. He has a family. He has a mortgage. Logic says he should panic. Logic says he should scramble, beg for his job back, or mass apply to 100 random positions just to survive. But David remembered the teaching of the override. He realized he had hit the illogical blockage. So instead of panicking, he went into the Daman. He went into the silence. He drove home, went into his room, and said, "Lord, you stopped this, so I will not move until you speak." For 40 days, nothing happened. The isolation set in. Friends stopped calling because they didn't know what to say to a man who lost his job. The restlessness at night was unbearable. He paced his hallway at 2 a.m., declaring scriptures just to keep his sanity. On the 41st day, his phone rang. It was a number he didn't recognize. He answered it. On the other end was a CEO of a company he had never applied to. This CEO said, "I was praying this morning about a crisis in our company, and your name dropped into my spirit. I don't know you, but I looked up your profile, and I feel like you are the one." David didn't send a resume. He didn't have an interview. He didn't have to prove himself. The CEO said, "I don't want to interview you. I want to hire you." And here is the override. The offer was not for a manager position, which David had before. It was for a director position. And the salary was not 10% higher. It was 3 times what he was making at the job that fired him. God didn't just give him a new job. God gave him 3 years of financial acceleration in one phone call. God used the firing to break him out of a salary cap that he never would have left on his own. The rejection was the transportation. This is what is waiting for you. This is real. This is the mechanics of how God operates when he hits the stop button. But now, chosen one, I need to address something dark. Because right now, even as you hear this story, even as you identify the signs, something strange is happening in your gut. You are not jumping for joy. You are not shouting, "Hallelujah." Instead, you feel a sinking sensation. You feel a knot of fear tightening in your stomach. A voice is whispering to you from the shadows of your own mind. It says, "David was special. You are not. You are a fraud. If you get that blessing, everyone will find out you are not good enough." You are terrified that if God actually gives you this override, you will be exposed as an imposter. You are scared of being the exception. You are terrified that if God actually gives you this override, you will be exposed as an imposter. You are scared of being the exception. Let us go deeper into this shadow. Because right now, there is a war happening in your mind. On one side, you are desperate for the breakthrough. You have been praying for it for years. But on the other side, there is a deep, paralyzing guilt. You look at your own life, and you see the cracks. You see the mistakes you made 5 years ago that you still haven't forgiven yourself for. You see the days where your faith was weak. You see your temper, your doubts, your inconsistencies. And you look at the override, this massive, unearned promotion, and you think, I don't deserve this. There are people in the church who are holier than me. There are people who have been waiting longer than me. If I take this shortcut, I am cheating. This heaviness you feel in your chest right now, that tightness that makes it hard to accept a compliment, let alone a miracle, that is not humility, chosen one. That is the orphan spirit. An orphan believes they only get what they earn. An orphan believes that if they are not perfect, they will be sent back to the streets. So when the father tries to hand them a gift that is too big for their hands, they flinch, they pull back, they think it is a trap. You are suffering from spiritual survivor's guilt. You feel like if you get blessed while you are still broken, you are a fraud. But I need you to listen to me. This override was never about your performance. It was never about your perfection. If God waited for you to be perfect before He promoted you, you would die in the waiting room. There is a specific pattern in Scripture that destroys this lie of the imposter syndrome. It is the story of a man who was the ultimate definition of brokenness, yet he lived in the ultimate definition of favor. I want to take you to 2 Samuel chapter 9, the story of Mephibosheth. Mephibosheth was the grandson of King Saul. By all logical rights, he should have been an enemy of the new king, David. But more than that, the Bible makes a specific point to tell us his condition. It says, he was lame in both feet. He was crippled. He could not walk. He could not fight in the army. He could not work the fields. In that ancient culture, a man who could not stand was considered useless to the kingdom. He was hiding in a place called Lo-Debar. Do you know what Lo-Debar means in Hebrew? It translates to the place of no pasture. It means the wasteland. It means the place of nothing. Mephibosheth was in the exact same position you are in right now. He was sitting in motionless spinning. He was stuck in a place of nothingness. He was broken physically, just like you might feel broken emotionally or financially. He had zero resume. He had zero assets. He had zero way to earn his way out of that wasteland. But one day, the king stopped everything. King David looked at his servants and asked a question that triggered a divine override. He didn't ask, "Is there anyone worthy in the house of Saul?" He didn't ask, "Is there anyone strong?" He asked, "Is there anyone left of the house of Saul to whom I may show the kindness of God for Jonathan's sake?" David initiated the override not because of Mephibosheth's merit, but because of a covenant. And when they brought this crippled man from the wasteland to the palace, Mephibosheth fell on his face. He was terrified. He said, "What is your servant that you should look upon such a dead dog as I am?" That is exactly what you have been saying to God in your spirit. Why me? I am broken. I am lame. I am a dead dog. But listen to the king's decree. David didn't say, "Go heal your feet and then come back." He didn't say, "Go earn your stripes and then we will talk." David said, "You shall eat at my table always." Do you understand the power of the table? When you sit at a banquet table, your feet are covered by the tablecloth. When Mephibosheth sat at the king's table, his lameness was hidden under the linen of grace. From the waist up, he looked exactly like the king's sons. He ate the same food. He drank the same wine. He wielded the same influence. His brokenness didn't leave, but his status changed instantly. This is the reframe you need to make right now. God is not bringing you into this override because your feet are strong. He is bringing you in because He has a covenant that is bigger than your condition. He is not waiting for you to fix your marriage, or fix your credit score, or fix your anxiety before He blesses you. He is bringing you to the table so that His provision can cover your lameness. I want you to do something with me right now. I want you to perform a mental act of surrender. In your mind's eye, I want you to visualize yourself sitting at a massive, long banquet table. It is set with the finest gold and silver, and at the head of the table sits the king. Now, in this visualization, I want you to look down at your own feet under the table. Look at the scars. Look at the things you are ashamed of. Look at the mistakes that make you feel like a fraud. The limp in your walk. The fear in your bloodline. See them clearly. Now, watch as the king takes a long, white linen cloth, a cloth woven from pure light, and he spreads it over the table. Watch as the cloth drapes down and completely covers your feet. They are still there, but they are covered. And now, look up at the king. He is not looking at your feet. He is looking at your face. He is passing you the bread. He is passing you the cup. He is treating you like royalty, not because you walked here, but because you were carried here. Feel the relief in that image. You don't have to be perfect to be positioned. You just have to be seated. The imposter syndrome is a lie from the enemy to keep you in low debar. The enemy wants you to focus on your feet, so you will never take your seat. But the divine override is God's way of saying, my covenant is stronger than your cripple. You are an exception. Accept it. Stop apologizing for it. The world will look at you and say, that doesn't make sense. Why them? And your answer will simply be, I am at the table. But this brings us to the deepest mystery of all. Why? Why would God do this? Why would He break His own protocol to save someone who feels like a dead dog? You think He is doing this just because He loves you. And yes, He loves you with an everlasting love. But chosen one, do not be naive. God loves everyone, yet He does not override everyone. He does not stop the sun for everyone. If this was just about affection, He would have healed you and let you walk the normal path. He would have let you take the stairs like everyone else. But He didn't. He hit the emergency brake. He disrupted the cosmos. He shocked the angels. The reason He had to break the rules for you is not just about love. It is about something far more urgent. It is a secret about time that the enemy is terrified you will discover. Here is the revelation that changes everything. God is not giving you this override just to make you happy. He is not disrupting the natural order just so you can have a bigger house, a nicer car, or a title on your office door. If this was just about your comfort, He would let you wait. The reason God had to stop everything, the reason He had to hit the emergency brake on your life and pull you out of the line of process, is because the world is running out of time. We are living in a moment of history where darkness is accelerating. Systems are shaking, economies are fragile, the culture is confused. And God looked at the timeline of human history, and He realized that if He let you go through the normal 20-year process to get into your position of influence, you would arrive too late. By the time you earned your way to the top of that mountain, the battle would already be over. So the divine override is not a reward for your behavior. It is a deployment strategy for His kingdom. You are not a lottery winner, chosen one. You are emergency reinforcement. Think about a war zone. In times of peace, a soldier climbs the ranks slowly. Private, corporal, sergeant, lieutenant. It takes years of testing and protocol. But in the heat of a crisis, when the front line is collapsing and the enemy is breaching the gates, The general does not have time for protocol. He looks for someone with the right spirit, someone with the right heart, and he executes a battlefield commission. He promotes them on the spot. He puts a weapon in their hand and authority on their shoulder, and he says, "I don't care that you didn't go to officer school. I need you to lead this unit now." That is you. God looked at your family line and saw crisis. He looked at your industry and saw corruption. He looked at your community and saw pain. And he said, "I cannot afford to let this chosen one sit in the classroom for another decade. I need them in the boardroom today. I need them in the marriage today. I need them with the resources today." So the override is not about your ego, it is about the urgency of the hour. This reframe shifts the weight off your shoulders. You don't have to feel guilty about being promoted faster than others, because you are being sent into a battle that others are not equipped to fight. The reason you are getting the resources is because you are the one who is going to fund the resistance. The reason you are getting the platform is because you are the one who is going to speak the truth when everyone else is silent. You are being positioned for impact, not for luxury. And this is where we need to open the Bible to the book of Esther, because everyone quotes the famous verse, but almost everyone misses the terrifying context of the time. You know the phrase, "for such a time as this." But do you know what the time actually was? Esther did not become queen in a time of peace. She became queen in the shadow of a genocide. A man named Haman had tricked the king into signing a decree. The date was set. On the 13th day of the 12th month, every Jew in the empire was to be killed. The clock was ticking. Death was literally on the calendar. This is why Esther experienced a divine override. If you look at the protocol of Persia, a woman could not just walk into the king's throne room. It was illegal. The law said that if you entered without being summoned, you would be executed instantly. The only exception was if the king extended his golden scepter. Esther had a choice. She could follow the rules, stay in her lane, wait to be called, and watch her people die. Or she could initiate a divine override. She chose the override. She said, "If I perish, I perish." And she walked into the throne room uninvited. She broke the protocol of the palace because the urgency of the mission demanded it. And what happened? The king did not kill her. He extended the scepter. He overrode the law of death to give her an audience of life. Why? Was it because Esther was beautiful? Was it because the king was in a good mood? No. It was because God knew that Esther was the only thing standing between his people and total annihilation. The override happened because the mission was critical. Chosen one, look at your life through this lens. The reason God blocked those other doors is because they were safe doors. They were comfortable doors, but they were doors that would have kept you hidden while the world burned. He stopped everything to redirect you to the throne room. The financial breakthrough that is coming to you, this sudden, illogical flow of resources, is not so you can buy better clothes. It is because there is a Haman spirit trying to bankrupt God's agenda, and God needs a treasurer who will fund the kingdom without hesitation. You are that treasurer. The influence that is about to drop on you, where people suddenly listen to you and seek your counsel, is not so you can be famous. It is because there is a spirit of deception sweeping the land, and God needs a voice that will cut through the noise with clarity. You are that voice. The relationship restoration that is happening is not just so you won't be lonely. It is because God needs to model kingdom covenant to a generation that has forgotten what loyalty looks like. You are that model. You are on a timeline of urgency. This explains the intensity of your training. It explains why your trials have been so much harder than everyone else's. Special forces go through harder training than regular infantry because their missions are critical. You have been forged in the fire because you are being sent into the fire. I want you to straighten your spine right now. Physically sit up straight. Feel the shift in gravity in the room. You are not a victim of a delay. You are an agent of a rescue mission. The King has extended the scepter to you. He has granted you access to rooms you didn't earn, resources you didn't accumulate, and authority you didn't study for. But you need to realize something terrifying. You are not the only one watching this promotion happen. As you are being airlifted from the valley to the summit, as you are moving with this supernatural speed that defies the laws of physics, something has happened in the spiritual realm that you need to be aware of immediately. You have appeared on the enemy's radar. When you were stuck in the process, moving slow, the enemy didn't worry about you. He thought he had 20 years to stop you. He thought he could wear you down slowly with discouragement and delay. But now that God has hit the override button, now that you are skipping levels, the enemy realizes he is out of time. He sees you rising with a momentum he cannot control. He sees the golden scepter extended in your direction. And precisely because you are moving with this supernatural speed, you have activated a red alert in the enemy's camp. He is panicking. And because he cannot stop God from promoting you, he is going to try to trick you into forfeiting the promotion yourself. You need to understand the mechanics of this panic, because it explains the hell you have been catching for the last few weeks. In normal spiritual warfare, the enemy uses a strategy of attrition. He tries to wear you down slowly over years. It is a slow siege. But an override creates a timeline jump. When God pulls you out of the line and moves you forward, you literally disappear from the enemy's radar in one location and reappear in a much higher location instantly. This causes chaos in the kingdom of darkness. The demons that were assigned to torment you at level 2 can no longer reach you at level 10. You have outpaced their jurisdiction. So the enemy has to scramble to send a new, higher-ranking detachment to try and intercept you before you land. This is why your battles have suddenly changed. Have you noticed that the attacks lately feel different? They are not the usual annoyances. They are sharp. They are sudden. They are attacking your mind with a ferocity that feels desperate. That is because the enemy is desperate. He is not fighting to stop you from starting. He is fighting to stop you from arriving. He knows he cannot stop God's hand, so he is trying to get you to slap God's hand away. He wants you to self-sabotage the override. And he does this using a very specific playbook. I call this the 7 forms of procedural attacks. These are not random attacks. They are calculated psychological weapons designed to make you crave the safety of the old process and reject the danger of the new miracle. If you can identify them, you can disarm them. Let us expose the first 3 forms right now. The first form is the most subtle. It is called the logic trap. When an override begins, the enemy will not come to you with horns and a pitchfork. He will come to you wearing a suit and tie. He will sound like a responsible financial advisor. He will sound like a caring friend. He will sound like your own common sense. He will whisper things like, "Be realistic. Look at the economy. This is not the time to take a risk. I want you to go into your mental kitchen right now. Imagine you are sitting at the table late at night. The house is quiet. You have a calculator in front of you and a stack of bills. You are looking at the promise God gave you. Maybe it is to start that business or move to that new city, and then you look at the calculator. The math does not add up. The logic trap is when the enemy uses facts to kill truth. He will say, "You don't have the capital. You don't have the degree. You don't have the connections. Be prudent. Wait until you are more prepared." It sounds so wise. It sounds so responsible, but it is a demon of delay masquerading as wisdom. The enemy knows that if he can get you to agree with logic, you will disconnect from the override, because the override is by definition illogical. Logic says the sun cannot stand still. Logic says a virgin cannot give birth. Logic says a cripple cannot sit at the king's table. If you are currently paralyzed by overanalyzing the how of your miracle, you are caught in the logic trap. You are trying to use a calculator to measure a miracle, and the enemy is laughing because he knows you will never find the answer in the numbers. The second form of attack is the guilt trip. This is when the enemy shifts from being an advisor to being a prosecutor. He knows he cannot question God's power, so he questions your worthiness. He waits for the moment you start to feel hopeful, the moment you start to believe that maybe, just maybe, this breakthrough is for you, and then he opens the file cabinet of your past. He pulls out a record of sins you committed 5 years ago, sins you have already repented for, sins that are under the blood, and he projects them onto the screen of your mind in high definition. He says, "Remember what you did in college. Remember how you failed your first marriage. Remember that secret addiction you struggled with. Do you really think a holy God is going to bless someone like you?" He tries to convince you that the silence of the demand is actually the silence of disapproval. He tells you that the reason things stopped is because God is angry with you. He wants you to reject the blessing before it even arrives because you feel too dirty to hold it. He wants you to wash your hands of the miracle because you think your hands are stained. But listen to me. The enemy is a legalist. He knows the law, but he does not know the judge. He does not understand that the judge is also your father. If you are hearing that voice of accusation right now, recognize it for what it is. It is an attempt to shame you back into the line of mediocrity. The third form is the past evidence attack. This is when the enemy uses your own trauma as a prophecy for your future. He says, "You tried to step out in faith 3 years ago, and look what happened. You crashed and burned. You lost money. You looked foolish." He takes the wreckage of your past attempts and builds a wall in front of your future. He says, "The last time you trusted, you were betrayed. The last time you hoped, you were disappointed. So why try again? Why risk the pain?" I want you to feel the texture of that fear. It feels like protection, doesn't it? It feels like your mind is trying to keep you safe from getting hurt again. But in the kingdom, fear is not a shield. Fear is a cage. The enemy wants you to believe that your history is your destiny. He wants you to believe that because it happened yesterday, it must happen tomorrow. But the divine override breaks the pattern of history. That is the whole point. God is doing a new thing, but the enemy is holding up an old photograph and saying, "This is all you will ever be." These 3 attacks, logic, guilt, and past evidence, are the frontline soldiers. They are designed to attack your mind. They are loud, they are argumentative, And because they are so loud, you can usually spot them if you are paying attention. You can debate with logic. You can silence guilt with the blood. You can refute past evidence with a new word. But the enemy has other weapons, weapons that are quieter, weapons that don't attack your mind, but attack your heart. These next forms are not about what you think, they are about what you feel when you look at others. They are the traps that catch even the strongest believers, because they look like righteous indignation. The most dangerous trap is not the one that tells you that you are bad. It is the one that tells you that God is unfair. The fourth form of attack is the comparison bait. This is the most lethal weapon in the enemy's arsenal because it attacks your sense of justice. While you are in the Daman, while you are in the silence waiting for your override, the enemy will make sure that the most annoying, ungodly, unqualified person you know gets the exact blessing you have been praying for. You are praying for a husband. Suddenly, your friend who cheats on her partners and never prays gets engaged to a wealthy, kind man. You are praying for your business to take off. Suddenly, a competitor who uses dishonest tactics hits $1 million in revenue. The enemy puts this right in your face. He makes sure it pops up on your social media feed. He makes sure you get the invitation in the mail. Why does he do this? He is trying to bait you into bitterness. He knows that bitterness is a spiritual block. He knows that if you look at their success and say, "God, that is not fair," you are actually judging God. And when you judge the judge, you step out of the position of favor. If you are seeing people around you getting promoted while you are standing still, do not get angry. Get excited. Because in the spiritual realm, that means the delivery truck is in your neighborhood. The enemy is only showing you the counterfeit to get you to disconnect from the authentic. The fifth form is the premature celebration. This is a tricky one. The enemy knows you are desperate for movement, so he will send you a counterfeit opportunity that looks like the override, but it is actually a trap to get you to settle for less. You are waiting for the director position. Suddenly, you get an offer for a manager position. It is better than nothing. It is a little bit more money. And the enemy whispers, "Just take it. At least it is movement. Don't be greedy." This is the Ishmael trap. Abraham got tired of waiting for Isaac, the promised son, so he settled for Ishmael, and that decision caused conflict for thousands of years. The enemy wants you to marry the first person who shows interest because you are lonely. He wants you to sign the bad contract because you are broke. He wants you to exit the waiting room too early. Recognize this. An override feels peaceful. A counterfeit feels rushed. If you feel panicked to say yes, that is not God. That is the enemy pushing you to abort the miracle. The sixth form is the distraction of offense. Right before the override manifests, people around you will start acting crazy. Your spouse will pick a fight over nothing. Your boss will be unreasonably rude. A stranger in the grocery store will disrespect you. The enemy is trying to pull you down from the spirit into the flesh. He wants you to get into a petty argument. He wants you to lose your temper. He wants to lower your vibration so you are not tuned in to hear the instruction for the launch. If everyone is irritating you right now, do not engage. It is a distraction. The enemy is trying to get you to look at the storm so you take your eyes off the water you are walking on. And the seventh form, this is the last hurdle. It is the spirit of fatigue. I am not talking about needing a nap. I am talking about a supernatural heaviness that makes you want to give up right at the finish line. You feel a lethargy in your bones. You stop praying because you just don't have the energy. You stop decreeing. You just want to crawl into bed and sleep through the breakthrough. This is the enemy trying to tranquilize you before the coronation. He knows that if you are asleep, you cannot open the door. If you are fighting these 7 forms of attack, logic, guilt, past evidence, comparison, premature celebration, offense, and fatigue, then congratulations. You are in the war zone of the override. But you might be asking, does anyone actually win this war? Is it possible to stand in the silence, reject the bait, and actually receive the sudden miracle? Yes. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah is a woman in her late 30s. For 7 years, her life was in a total stop regarding relationships. She was beautiful, she was successful in her career, but she could not get a date. It was a supernatural blockage. Every time she met someone, it fell apart within weeks. She felt the supernatural isolation we talked about. Then, the comparison bait hit her. Her younger sister, who was 10 years younger and admittedly less mature in her faith, got engaged. When Sarah saw the ring, she felt a physical pain in her stomach. The enemy screamed in her ear, "God has forgotten you. You are going to be the spinster aunt. Look, he blessed her and she doesn't even tithe." Sarah went home that night, and she had a choice. She could agree with the enemy and become bitter. She could gossip about her sister. She could wallow in self-pity. But she remembered the protocol. She recognized the attack. So she did something radical. She went into her prayer closet and she commanded her spirit to bless her sister. She bought the most expensive wedding gift she could afford. She forced herself to smile and plan the bridal shower. She refused to take the bait. She stayed in the daman. She stayed in the high place of silence. 2 weeks after her sister's wedding, Sarah was at a grocery store on a Tuesday night. She wasn't looking for anyone. She wasn't on a dating app. She was just buying milk. A man walked up to her in the aisle. He didn't use a cheesy pickup line. He just looked at her and said, "Excuse me, I feel like I am supposed to know you." Now, logic would say, "Run away, that is creepy." But Sarah felt the peace of the override. They started talking. This man was not just a Christian, he was a leader. He was financially established. He was everything she had written on her list 10 years ago. But here is the override part. Normally, you date for a year, you get engaged, you wait another year. That is the process. But God had stopped Sarah's timeline for 7 years to save her from the wrong men. Now, he hit the fast-forward button. They met in October. They were engaged in December. They were married in February. In 4 months, God redeemed 7 years of waiting. Her friends were shocked. They said, "You are moving too fast. That is crazy." But Sarah knew. She said, "I am not moving fast. I am moving in God's time. He paused me to protect me, and now he is accelerating me to position me." This is what happens when you pass the test of the comparison bait. The counterfeit falls away, and the genuine arrives with such speed that it makes your head spin. Chosen one, you now have the map. You know the signs. You know why God stopped you. You know the enemy's playbook. You are ready to fight. But there is one final danger, a danger so subtle that it has caused thousands of chosen ones to lose their override the moment they received it. You see, getting the blessing is one thing, keeping it is another. When this massive influx of favor hits your life, when the money comes, when the love comes, the pressure on your soul will increase 1,000 times. If you do not have the protocol of silence active in your life, you will blow it up with your own mouth. You need to know how to hide in the light. You need to know how to hide in the light. This brings us to the final and most critical framework of the divine override. It is called the protocol of silence. Listen to me closely. The moment the override begins, the moment that phone rings, the moment the money hits the account, the moment the relationship starts, you are going to feel an overwhelming urge to tell everyone. You will want to call your family. You will want to text your friends. You will want to post a vague status update on social media saying, "God is good," with a winking emoji, just so people know you are winning. This urge does not come from the Holy Spirit. It comes from your ego. It comes from a deep need to prove to the people who doubted you that you are not a failure. You want the vindication of the announcement. But I am warning you, if you announce the override before it is fully established, you will abort it. The enemy cannot stop what he does not know about. But the moment you broadcast your breakthrough, you give him the coordinates to attack it. You invite jealousy. You invite the evil eye. You invite spiritual interference. Joseph made this mistake. He had a dream of greatness, and he ran and told his brothers. And because he spoke too soon, he was thrown into a pit. Mary, the mother of Jesus, was wiser. When she received the greatest override in history carrying the Messiah, the Bible says she hid these things in her heart. She didn't run to the town square. She went into hiding. She knew that a seed cannot grow if you keep digging it up to show people the roots. I want you to practice a mental action right now. This is a simulation of the protocol. Imagine you have just received the news you have been praying for. Your heart is racing. You pick up your phone. You open your messaging app. You type out the good news. Now, in your mind, I want you to watch your thumb hit the backspace button. Delete the message. Delete the need for validation. Delete the need to prove them wrong. Feel the power of holding that secret. It burns inside you, doesn't it? That burn is the energy accumulating. By keeping your mouth shut, you are building a pressure cooker of favor that will explode with even greater power when the time is right. Your rule from today forward is this: do not announce the pregnancy, announce the birth. Do not announce the business idea, announce the grand opening. Do not announce the date, announce the wedding. Silence is not just golden. Silence is a shield. But there is one final danger you must navigate while you are practicing this silence. It is the danger of the golden calf. This is the warning that could save your soul. When you are in the Daman, when God has stopped everything and you are waiting for the override, the silence can become terrifying. You look at the clock, days become weeks, weeks become months, and a panic sets in. You start to think, maybe God got stuck, maybe he forgot, I need to help him out. This is exactly what happened to the Israelites. Moses went up the mountain to get the override, the 10 Commandments. He was gone for 40 days. The people couldn't handle the silence. They couldn't handle the waiting. So they took their gold, their precious resources, and they built a calf. They built something they could see. They built something they could control. They created a counterfeit God because they didn't have the patience for the real one. And just as they finished building this idol, Moses came down the mountain with the glory of God on his face. But because they had built the calf, the blessing turned into judgment. Chosen one, you are in the danger zone right now. You are tired of waiting. I know. You have some resources, you have some talent, and you are tempted to just force something to happen. You are tempted to start the business without the peace. You are tempted to get back with the ex just to have someone. You are tempted to compromise your values just to get a paycheck. That is a golden calf. If you build it, it might work for a moment. It might shine. It might look like success. But it will not have the breath of God in it. And eventually, it will grind you to dust. Do not trade the divine override for a man-made solution. Do not trade the supernatural for the superficial. If God has stopped you, stay stopped until He moves you. Do not twitch, do not strive, do not manufacture a false door. The angels are watching, the cloud of witnesses is watching, the enemy is watching, and the king is about to extend the scepter. We have covered the diagnosis, we have shattered the false summits, we have exposed the enemy's 7 attacks, we have established the protocol of silence. The teaching is finished, the understanding is complete. But understanding is not enough. Information alone does not shift dimensions. We need activation. Right now, in the unseen realm, the courts of heaven are in session. The books are open. The gavel is raised. God is waiting for your permission to seal this override upon your timeline. This is not just a prayer we are about to pray. This is a legal transaction. This is a coronation ceremony in the spirit. I need you to shift your posture. If you are lying down, sit up. If you are sitting, stand up if you can. If you are driving, grip the wheel with a new authority. Do not just listen to the next few minutes, participate in them. We are going to seal the override. We are going to bind the retaliation, and we are going to commission you into your new season. Are you ready to receive the scandalous grace that shocks the angels? This is not a YouTube video anymore. This is holy ground. I want you to shift your internal posture right now. If you are safe to do so, straighten your spine. If you are driving, grip the wheel with the authority of a king. If you are lying down, visualize your spirit standing up tall, fully armored, in the center of the throne room. We are stepping into the courts of heaven. The books are open. The cloud of witnesses is assembled, and the judge is waiting for your agreement. In the mighty name of Yeshua, I call forth the spirit of every chosen one listening to my voice. I call you out of the cave of depression. I call you out of the prison of delay. I call you out of the wasteland of Lo-Debar. Father, you see them. You see the nights they cried in their cars. You see the confusion they carried when the doors slammed shut. You see the isolation they endured while others celebrated. But today, we acknowledge that the stop was not a punishment. It was a setup. And now, as an architect of this spiritual moment, I stand in agreement with them to set the seal. I seal the revelation of the divine override upon your timeline. I declare that the laws of cause and effect are suspended in your life for this season. Where you have sown in tears, you will reap in supernatural acceleration. I seal the 3 signs of the override. I declare that every illogical blockage was God's protection. I declare that every supernatural isolation was God's consecration. I declare that your holy restlessness is the birth pang of a new dimension. You will no longer fear these signs. You will welcome them as markers of your promotion. And now, I bind the retaliation of the enemy. I bind the 7 forms of procedural attack. I bind the logic trap. You will walk by faith, not by sight. I bind the guilt trip. You are covered by the blood and worthy of the table. I bind the past evidence. Your history is not your destiny. I bind the comparison bait. You will run your own race. I bind the premature celebration. You will wait for the fullness of the promise. I bind the distraction of offense and the spirit of fatigue. They have no authority here. They are evicted from your mental space. I activate the protocol of silence over your lips. I declare that you have the wisdom to hide your treasure. You will not cast your pearls before swine. You will steward this mystery in the secret place until the day of its public manifestation. And now, I prophesy the outcome. I declare that within the next 72 hours, the atmosphere around you will shift. You will feel the heavy, thick presence of the King's favor. The phone call is coming, the email is coming, the meeting is coming, and when it comes, it will not look like the old process. It will be sudden, it will be illogical, and it will be undeniable. Chosen one, your table is ready. The King has extended the scepter. I ask you one final question. Do you receive this commission to be an agent of the kingdom? To use this override not for your vanity, but for His glory? If your answer is yes, I want you to open your mouth and say, I receive it. It is done. The seal is set. The override is active. You are dismissed from the waiting room. Go and walk in your destiny.